Hi, I'm Rachel Anthony. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how much it actually cost for me to write, publish, distribute, and market my debut novel, A Time for Us. I'm going to caveat this by saying I am still in the marketing process. So the numbers that I'm going to show you today are probably going to change as the year progresses, because although I don't anticipate spending a large amount of money additionally to what I'm going to show you today, but I anticipate that that number could go up and will go up slightly as I continue to market and promote my book. So let's go ahead and kick it off. The first thing is writing and publishing. So a good chunk of this portion of the expenses came from editing. I hired a developmental editor through Reedsy. So that $2,915 for a developmental editor is the cost of the editor plus the cost of the Reedsy fee to hire the editor through their service. Next was cover design, which is $623. Again, I hired my cover designer through Reedsy. So that is the cost of the cover designer plus the fees that Reedsy charge for using their service, plus any stock images that I purchased for the designer to use as a part of her design. So that was a total of $623. Hybrid publisher. This is the biggest chunk of anything that I've spent so far. And this was the publisher that I hired to do formatting, which was exterior, interior formatting, as well as the ebook formatting, to do distribution through KDP and Ingram Spark, to do the paperback and ebook ISBNs, so they took on that expense. I did purchase the marketing package, which came with a Newswire promotion that went out to things like Business Insider, for example. Also came with 20 author copies and a few marketing materials like bookmarks, posters, business cards, things like that. And then lastly was the audiobook. So this $1,160 is the cost of the $1,000 for the narrator plus the $60 Upwork fee, because I selected my narrator from Upwork. And so there was a fee to use their services. And then I had to purchase an ISBN for the audiobook, and that was $100. So in total, the writing and publishing expenses came to $9,593. Moving on to distribution. So within distribution, I put the author copies that I purchased myself. So what I am doing with these author copies are I am fulfilling orders that are done through my website. So if anyone purchases the paperback through my website, I have to have a copy to actually send to them. Additionally, I want copies for book events. I'm going to have a book signing in a couple weeks. I'm going to need copies for that. Additionally, there will be book fairs that I will be participating in, and I will need copies of my book for those types of events. Also, I've been working with several independent bookstores who prefer to have the author send them copies of the book as opposed to going through Ingram Spark to order their copies. So in those cases, I want to have those books on hand so I can ship or take those copies to those bookstores. Right now, I'm working with 6 different independent bookstores across the country that have my books on their shelf, that have my book on their shelves. So I feel really privileged to have made those connections, and but it does come with me actually having that upfront cost of supplying the books directly to those publishers and then shipping it to them as well. And I also want to break down the fact that the way I have this outlined here is that I ordered 10 kind of proof copies from Barnes& and Noble Press to see A, what the quality was, B, what the cost was, and then C, what the turnaround time was from me ordering to the time I actually got the books in my hand. I did the same thing with Ingram Spark. I created my own ISBN. I used their free one, the same thing for Barnes& and Noble Press, to create my own instance of my novel so I can order my own copies. So initially I ordered 10 copies from from Ingram Spark for the same reason. Wanted to see quality, cost, and turnaround time for actually getting the books in my hand. At the end of the day, Ingram Spark, Barnes& and Noble Press and Ingram Spark have the same quality, surprisingly, because I say that sarcastically because Barnes& and Noble Press uses Ingram Spark to do their printing. But they were a little bit more expensive. So for additional author copies that I ordered for myself, I ended up going through Ingram Spark. So that is the total of 60 there. I ordered 50 additional copies. And then I also ordered 50 copies from my hybrid publisher, who charges a premium, basically double the cost of printing directly from Ingram Spark. But the reason I did that is because I wanted bookstores to have the same version of the book as if they were going to order it directly from Ingram with the publisher's imprint. So when I'm sending these copies to the bookstores, I am sending them the imprint of the publisher that I used. So I paid the premium to get those copies, and so that's why I ordered 50 copies there. So in total, I ordered 120 copies for myself in addition to the 40 copies that came with my hybrid publishing package, for a total of 140 copies. And for the ones that I paid for, it was $1,291.24. BookFunnel is the service I use to actually distribute the ebook and the audiobook that are ordered directly from my website. And that is $250 per year. Shipping materials. So when I fulfill my orders, I have to, box them, package them. And so I ordered $216.50 worth of shipping materials. Shipping costs so far have been $125. That is the cost of shipping to bookstores that are not local here in Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as during my pre-orders, I had free shipping from my website. So I did not charge anyone who purchased my book from my website, didn't charge them any shipping. I took those costs on my own. And so right now I am at a shipping cost of $125 total. Bookstore consignment fee. So some bookstores require a consignment fee. So far I've only encountered one, and that's here locally in Charlotte. So in order to get my books on their shelves, I had to pay $30. But that also came with the ability to have a signing at their store, which is the signing I'm going to have in a couple weeks. So that's where I am with that. So total for distribution currently is $1,912.74. Moving on to marketing. So the first thing I've noted here is $1,800 for social media influencers. I worked with 5 different social media influencers, and that came to a total of $1,800. That wasn't distributed evenly. Some influencers with higher viewer counts charge more, some charge less. But I had a $2,000 budget, and I came in under budget there at $1,800. I also hired a social media manager to kind of get my social media presence set up and put us on a regular cadence. I hired her for 6 months at $1,500 total. And with that, she is creating content and posting on 4 different sites, including TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. social media ads. So to boost posts that we are posting on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, we are also boosting some of those posts. And so far, that has been a total of $533. Promotional merchandise like tote bags, notebooks, pens, additional bookmarks, things like that, that I gave away as pre-order gifts from anyone who purchased, who pre-ordered my book from my website. They got some gifts, some merch with their purchase. And as I'm doing signings and doing book fairs, I want merch that I can give out there as well. So far I spent $375 on that. ARC sites. I did a co-op for NetGalley, as well as Book Siren and Booksprout, and so far that has come to $88 total. Book event stuff. I got a table cover with my logo on it, got a couple sign holders, and just things that I can reuse for other events, but I had to purchase them so I'd be ready for my book fairs that are coming up in May. So far I've spent $265 there. I anticipate that going up a little bit because I do anticipate purchasing a tent as well. Book fair fee. So far I've only paid $45 for one book fair. I anticipate there would be another fee coming. They just haven't asked for that fee yet. So I'm anticipating that to be approximately the same price. So that will increase. And then MailChimp, which is the platform that I use to host my newsletter that I send out on a weekly basis. It's $20 a month. I've used them for 4 months so far, so that's a total of $80, but that will continue. So that will go up incrementally by $20 each month as I continue to use their site for my newsletter hosting. So that brings us to our total expenses for writing, publishing, distributing, and marketing my debut novel, A Time for Us, is $16,191.74. That number gets stuck in my throat a little bit. I decided to do this post because I was getting everything ready for the meeting with my tax accountant this coming Saturday. And I'm hoping that as a result of that meeting, I will see a good portion of this returned to me in a tax refund because I can write off every bit of this. So I'll let you know. I might do another post there on how much that turned out to be. But yeah, that was a lot of money to spend, especially on a debut novel. I really don't have any regrets about that. I know I went in hard to write and publish and distribute and market more than most debut, especially indie debut novelists would do. But I wanted to put in the work. I sold some investments so I would have the money to do it. I did it, and I really don't have any regrets about it. However, things I would do differently and I think would save me almost half of this. Things that I would not spend money on going forward. A hybrid publisher. Everything the hybrid publisher did for me to publish my debut novel, I will do myself going forward. Again, I don't have any regrets at this point about hiring that hybrid publisher because I got to see what needed to be done in order to get through this process. Now that I saw it, now that I've learned it, I can do it myself. I don't have to pay for them anymore. Social media manager, same thing. I adore the young lady that I work with to get me acclimated with the hardcore algorithms of social media, how to post, when to post. She has been so much help and has given me so much knowledge. But after the 6 months, I will be going forward with doing that content myself. If it becomes overwhelming, I know where she is. I will hire her back, but I think that is going to be where I will pick up that responsibility. author copies. That's so hard for me to say. There's a character in my book by the name of Arthur, and so author and Arthur keeps getting tangled on my tongue. Author copies. I think I can reduce that by about $400 because I would not have to purchase at a premium from a publisher. I can just get it at cost from the printer directly, and that'll save me some money for my own copies. The book event stuff, I won't have to repurchase that. It's a one and done. Like I said, I will be purchasing a tent, so that will be, I think about $150 is what I've kind of looked at for getting just a, regular, nondescript, not non-logo, non-branded tent. But that is what I anticipate spending. So that $265 that I spent for other stuff, I won't have to spend again. So I can reduce that cost going forward by about $7,000. I would still go hard with marketing. I would still go hard with distribution. None of that would change. These are, especially these top two things, those are the hard hitters that I will save on going forward. I hope this content was helpful for you. Putting it together was definitely an experience for me, but I'm happy to share my experience with you. So hopefully you can take from it what you will, know where I spent my money, and decide whether that's where you want to spend your money and how you want to spend your money. So if you like this content, please give me 2 thumbs up. I appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. And come back next Wednesday when I will have more tidbits on my writing journey on the next Writing Wednesday. See you then. Bye.